too, and we're looking forward to that. And also, you also appeared in a short film called Tit for Tat, which you played an NFL commissioner. And tell us about the movie, and what's it like playing as an NFL commissioner?
Well, that one was interesting because it's all about CTE and concussions, and it's about an NFL player who had concussions, had issues, and it was really the fault in the film, it was the fault of the commissioner and the doctor that cleared him to play. He shouldn't have been out on the field playing football with the concussion that he had, but in the film, it was all about money, and it was all about driving ticket sales up, and that's what they did. So, you know, for me, it was my first film first short film that I did, which was fun, and we basically have the writers written a sequel to it, and we plan on doing a sequel, filming a sequel this year from that. That kind of ties into it and kind of takes the next step. I can't really talk about the next one yet, just because it's not, we didn't even film it yet. But the first one was pretty interesting because it was a real look at what really does happen out there, and people, have been injured and have, after their NFL career is over, they have challenges because of some of the beatings they've taken. So it's nice to see that the NFL is trying to make the game safer by just making changes of you're not allowed to hit with your head anymore and such like that. But, I think they still have a way to go.
Now, you say this was based on an NFL player. Now, who was the actual player that they're referring to, or was just simply a made-up story, or was just...
Yeah, it was a made-up story that was, but it was about a real-life experience that had occurred. So I don't have... who the actual player was that the writer that had in mind, but it's definitely not I don't think they've publicized this as a true story, but they've publicized it as a necessary issue that they need to take a look at.
And of course, with you playing an NFL commissioner in a film, would you actually become an NFL commissioner if you're asked to? And if you did, how would you compare with the current commissioner of the NFL today?
I wouldn't even entertain it. There's no way. I wouldn't even consider it. I give the NFL commissioner a lot of credit for the work he does. And like I said, this was a film that just kind of tried to bring attention to the issue of concussions in the NFL and just the seriousness of how people do get injured. So that's really what the story is about. But like I said, it's a fictional story. It's not, we didn't take somebody's life and implement it into a movie. So this was a nicely written story, but it is fiction. But it is, it's a real issue that's out there.
Mm-hmm. It's something Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, could look into. And also, where can people find Tit for Tat?
Tit for Tat is out on the web. It is. It hasn't been highly publicized, just as we're trying to get it into a second film as well, to be a part of another film. So we haven't gone crazy publishing it, but should be able to find it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And that's something probably to say. Just I'm trying to think of word. Just publicize it like before the Super Bowl, or maybe like into next season when you get the second one out. Also, a couple of ones too, like Crime to Remember and Mysteries at the Museums. You can just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, they're some of my early, when I first got into the acting world, and A Crime to Remember was a fun one that I was on site for 4 days up in Brooklyn, and both of those are reenactment films that were aired on TV, and they were just fun experiences for me. It was nice to witness what happens on a set, both good and bad. The one film we were doing was probably 100 degrees inside, and
oh my gosh.
I played a police officer from the 1920s. I was wearing a heavy wool suit, and because I was dressed as a police officer, I couldn't go outside for purposes of, if somebody sees me, they think I could be a cop. If there's a real issue, that they would come over to me. So I had to go outside and put a robe on before I actually went outside, because it was, just for safety reasons.
I was going to say that would make a lot of sense with the world out there these days, or somebody would say you be impersonating a police officer or you get shot at. So, I mean, with
Exactly.
the heavy wool suits, I mean, I remember a story about how the ushers, wore similar wool suits. Like when it came to baseball games, they did that at Camden Yards, but the heat got too hot and many of them got sick and they had to shed that. But of course, there's also a new technology too. They go from the heavy wool suits into much lighter clothing, and some can also protect you as well.
Right, correct. You are correct.
Okay.
But it was interesting. It was my first time playing a police officer, so it was interesting that they really think about all the aspects of what could happen. So they make sure that if somebody does need help, they don't go the wrong way.
That's a really good thing too. And of course, we'll get to your special project in just a minute. Right now, you listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Facebook at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen to The Mike Wagner Show on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also, you can watch the interview on YouTube as well. We're here with Pennsylvania native Mike Provenzano. He talked about some of his movie work, Cage the Bear, Project Time Jump, and the upcoming film No Way Out, which is to be released very soon. He also was in a couple of projects involving some modeling with Nike and some voiceover work. And, of course, you probably got the biggest project of all, Raising 4 Boys, and one of them is very special. So you can just tell us about that. And, of course, you also balance it when you work in a corporate world.
Well, we have 4 boys, and my wife and I have a 22-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And our 16-year-old Aiden has autism. And so we obviously have special feelings for him, as we do with each of our sons. But he has special needs, and we try to address them as best we can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and of course with Menem as well too. Do you have any aspirations into acting, involved in sports or theater or anything like that?
My 14-year-old is a little jock. He is very good at, he kind of, whatever sport he takes on, and he excels at it. So right now he's into basketball, he's into soccer, he's into track. So he's we'll see where he goes, but he's definitely making strides. Whatever he puts his mind to, he becomes very good at. Our youngest has done he's done one modeling job for Chico Car Seats, and he did a commercial for a insect repellent clothing line. Didn't have any lines in it, but he was kind of starred in it, he was a supporting cast in it. But he got a decent amount of face time on screen, so it was kind of fun for him to do. So he enjoys it. Whether he makes it in the industry, we'll see. Time will tell. But he has a blast doing it.
He must have watched you throughout the whole time, being in films and modeling and everything else too. He must have watched you with a very keen eye. It's like, I want to be like Dad.
Yeah, something like that, I think. But he has a blast with it. He has the personality for it. He's very outgoing. He's very cute, fun, friendly, and just has a blast with everybody. He can walk up and talk to anybody about anything.
That sounds amazing too. And of course, with your 4 boys and one being autism, so some of the other unique challenges, like say if any interest in acting, or like say you take time out like for special education. So I mean, what does it take like to get to understand to be normal?
Well, he is in a autistic classroom for school. He started talking when he was about 10, so he gets a decent amount of words out. He may not have conversations like you and I do, but he's able to now use his voice for his needs. So time will tell on where he gets to from that standpoint. But he's a 16-year-old, light of our lives, and we love him with all our hearts. And we'll see. Time will tell what direction he wants to go.
Mm-hmm. That sounds amazing too. Like, wish them all the best. And what would you consider your favorite projects among the things you've worked on?
I'd say one of my favorites was I did a a commercial last year for Land Rover, Land Rover. We were down in North Carolina off-road driving their Range Rover trucks, and so that was a really fun one. That we just had a great group of people and it was just a really fun one. About 2 years ago, I did one for Hershey Park, and we went on their triple towers about 25 times over the course of 2 days. So that was a fun one, going up and down as high as their their ride would go. That was another fun one. Just did one recently for Bomba Snacks. It was a cute one. It was Bomba Snacks is almost like a peanut butter puff, for lack of a better term, and it's something that's over in Israel, but they're bringing it to the States. So we just finished that one up, or that one I think literally just went public about 3 days ago. So that was a fun one. But I have a blast each time I go out on each set. You just meet, you meet new people, and no matter good day, bad day. I did one for Field and Stream. That was kind of my first modeling job, and that one was in the Poconos, and it was all about bonfires.
Okay.
So we were out in the woods with a bonfire. However, it was pouring rain out right before we started shooting, so it was interesting to watch them take out the lighter fluid and light up all the wood to try to make it burn. But we got it done.
It sounds like it's something you never do when it comes to camping. Have you ever been on camping yourself too, and get the experience before the shoot?
Not like that, no. Not to that extent. I've been camping, but not like that, no.
And of course, you can also bring the peanut butter puffs as well too, and those are making me hungry right now. So.
I heard you there.
And what do you consider the most challenging besides the what happened with Field and Stream?
I'd say probably I did one. Let me see if I have it here. I did one for a company in Malaysia, and it was my first real project where I had a lot of dialogue, and they wrote the script in Malaysian, and dialect. So it wasn't something that someone from the United States would be able to just speak to. So we had to rewrite most of it to make it sound like it was coming from here. And I literally crammed the night before, overnight, trying to make sure I knew all the script as best as I could. So that was my first one. So that was pretty difficult, even though it was an interview styled project. But it was pretty difficult. But it was definitely a fun one to do by the time it was all said and done.
Mm-hmm. Almost sounds like you had to play your own translator in a way.
Kind of. I had to play the CEO of the company from Malaysia because they wanted the interpretation that the company is run by an American, not by somebody from Malaysia.
Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense. And what do you consider your most memorable moment of all the projects you've done? It can be funny, it can be heartwarming, it could also be a blooper of some sense. And what do you consider your most memorable moment?
Probably need 30 seconds for that one.
Oh, we got a little time. Or whatever comes from the top of your head, that's fine too. So,
yeah, I think one of the I go two routes. One of them I did for a company called Casual Films, and it was about I was a person that was making deliveries of medication to older people that couldn't go out to get their own medication at the store. And it was for so basically it was for a pharmacy that actually made deliveries to people for their products. Mm-hmm. And that was a really interesting one. And it was a fun one, and it was local to here, but it was really special because it's something that you don't kind of see out there every day. And now with Uber Eats and all that stuff, people are actually starting to make deliveries, but this was kind of before that started. So it was interesting to see someone try to help people that can't get out to get the medication that they need to help themselves.
That is amazing, too, and something you can do for the good of everybody. And who do you consider biggest influence when it comes to acting?